Today I'm going to talk about a certain enterprise and its internalization progress. And the enterprise is Nestle. Okay, so we all know the company. I think we have all consumed at least one of their products once, even if we're not aware of that. When I started to do my research for this presentation, I was actually surprised to see the number of companies that were under the name of Nestle. For example, we have Kit Kat, Wonka, La Lechera, Milo, etc. So, since we all know this company, let's officially start this presentation with a simple question. Why they decided to go international? Okay, so a simple question has a simple answer, right? As many other companies, Nestle wanted to expand their horizons and find growth, new opportunities. Besides that, they realized that they were getting more popular, so they decided to export their products, chocolate and baby formula. But how did they start their international activities? Well, there was this company founded by two brothers in the USA that produce condensed milk. And since their company was getting more profit and recognition, they decided to expand to Europe. And after that, they started to sell baby formula. So of course, I believe this was one of the first problems that Nestle faced. So now these two companies were rivals because they were selling baby formula as Nestle was doing before. So Nestle decided that they now wanted to sell condensed milk. Okay, so they start like their little war between the two companies, and after many years, these two companies finally decided that they were better together, and they decided to merge. So why am I telling you this? Well, basically because after these two companies merged, was when they most started to sell abroad. That was like the point where they started their international activities. First, they started in the USA and then the Great Britain. And in that way, they began to expand to other countries like Germany and Spain. Then, years later, more specifically in 1914, war breaks out across Europe and disrupts production for the company. So because of the war and the high demand that they were getting, it was not as easy as before for them to find raw materials. And because of this, it was not really easy to export milk. So their subsidiaries started to get empty, and what they did to overcome this problem was they started to buy other companies in the USA and Australia, and in that way they were able to survive through this crisis. So of course it did not stop there. They continued to grow and expand to other countries and continents, like for example South America and Asia. And then years later, when World War II started, they were already prepared for it, because now they had subsidiaries in countries that were not directly involved with the war. So now the post-war economy was not going to affect them like it did in the past. Besides that, since the company was supplying civilians and the armed forces, they started to gain popularity, and the name of the brand was getting more and more popular, especially in the USA. So this gave them an opportunity to enter new markets, and now that they have spent to South America, especially in Brazil, they decided to take advantage of that and start to launch new products such as Nescafe. And at the end of the war, Nescafe was included in aid supplies in Japan and Europe. So the growing popularity and prosperity of Nescafe gave them the opportunity to expand themselves in the market once again, and also to launch products like Nestea, which was launched in the late 40s. So I would like to talk about all these products that they have launched ever since, and how they expand their own brand to more countries and more countries. But I think that would take too much time. So I have already told you how this company began their operations and how they end up exporting to a lot of countries. Maybe you're wondering, how did they manage to start their internationalization, and how did they expand their company in so many places? How they managed to prosper despite cultural differences and market differences. So I would say that as every global or multinational or transnational company, they have to study the market, and after doing that, they must adapt their products to suit the necessary requirements of the culture or the market of the target country. Sometimes they even have to adapt their products in places that they are already operating in, because of the changing taste of consumers. So it's a constant study of the market itself. It's not just when a enterprise goes abroad and started to operate in new countries, but also in countries or regions that they are already operating. So it's a constant study. Most of the times, companies make partnership in order to grow, and that's of course also the case of Nestle. And as an example of partnership that Nestle has, we have L'Oreal, which is a very famous brand that is partnered with Nestle. So according to them, Nestle and L'Oreal have benefit from their cooperation, and they both joined efforts in research. They also say that the shareholding in L'Oreal continues to be an important investment for Nestle. They're both strong companies, and that's why they can rely on each other. And another partnership that I would like to mention is the partnership between academic institutions and public institutions, like for example universities. Many companies sometimes partner up with institutions. But why? Well, basically because it helps them, for example in the case of Nestle, it helps them to address key public health challenges, or to improve the nutritional value of their foods and beverage. Okay, so now let's talk about the strategies. Which entry strategy they choose to follow. Okay, so Nestle's strategy was basically to invest directly into different foreign markets, and they usually try to enter emerging markets in an early stage. They prefer to acquire local companies that are already known in the market because it helps them to overcome cultural hurdles, and because it's easier to reach customers with local brand names. Then, after some time, they start to make marketing of its own products, and then keep moving with the rise in demand. According to them, the competences that differentiates them from other companies is that Nestle products they benefit, especially the quality. Like, they're really good with the quality of the products and the health of the products, the hygiene, and they care a lot of customer satisfaction. So their main focus is to keep the customer loyal. They try to reach each group of people in which they have succeeded, and they provide hygienic products to their customers. Also, they make sure that their products are verified by health and safety measures and international quality standards. So basically, the customers are like their main competence. They want to keep their customers as loyal as they can. So another thing that is important for them is the shared value. They believe that they will be successful by creating value for their shareholders and, of course, for society. They believe that they can do that while contributing to Nestle's ongoing success. So this company has been working over 100 years, and it's impressive to see how much they have expanded and how they managed to internationalize the way they did, and the amount of companies that are under their label. And over the years, their strategy has been the same. The only thing that actually changed is that they keep adapting to the market through the years. So I think it's interesting to see the history, the strategies, the growth, and the expansion behind a well-known company like it is Nestle. So I hope you like it. I hope that if it's the case, you have learned something new, and I hope you found it interesting. Thank you very much for your attention. This has been my presentation on the Nestle internationalization process. Thank you.